Okay, so here we are at the Best Friends Animal Sanctuary. Um, the animal's feeling sick, as usual. Pretty sure my instinct that Vita is dying from this is on the mark. So I'm going to talk a little bit about this pathetic bitch. This pathetic crack whore that thinks she's all big time and thinks she's such a powerful little demon thing because she's able to do what she's done, and supposedly nobody gives a fuck about what she's doing. I want the message to clearly be that these people are weak. She's weak. In her little criminal world, gassing animals to death, gassing people till unconsciousness, and then doing all those horrific things, that isn't a show of strength. Like, if she were to be arrested and go to prison, and would she be like, yeah, look what I did all this? No. Because big time people will be like, you didn't even have to fight her. She didn't even fight. The animals weren't even able to fight for their own lives. So everything was just given to you on a silver platter. You know, it's not like she's driven around by all her little crack whore friends. Whoever's in this blue rental via sedan out here is her little driver right now. They, house her and everything. I mean, it's all given to her on a silver platter. She's not working for any of this. So what? She has to crawl around in small spaces for a little while. She seems to enjoy that. So, yeah, you know, I hope one day she goes to prison and she's like all thinking she's big time, and because all the little crackheads that worship her now, and the rapists that give her props for handing my anus over to them, it's not really big time. It's really not. I mean, she's not even fighting these dogs for their lives. You know, if she were to try to take their life, they'd fight. And she'd get injured and hurt. So, and possibly die. But see, she's never going to do that. She's never going to actually, be brave or have courage or strength or any of these things. They're all very, very weak. And in the big scheme of things, she'd fucking get beaten. Beaten. And if it was ever just me and her, she'd be dead. She would be dead. And she knows that. That's why she doesn't, that's why she doesn't try. She doesn't ever try to put herself in a position where she could actually be challenged. Bottom line. So, it is what it is. She's a pathetic fucking piece of shit that can only come after people who are completely drugged. So, there's no strength in that. There's no props that are going to be given to her in her world for what she does here. And I think she's just incredibly pathetic. I mean, I've spent years trying to give these animals a good life and make them happy and enjoy life and have joy and peace and comfort. And she's just taken all that from them. For what? For what? What? Because I'm some big time person that needs to be destroyed by all the demons. I mean, they act like I'm a fucking messiah. You know how much time and energy and effort that they have put into trying to destroy me? Is that not a showing of exactly what a threat they find me to be to them? And I think the threat is clearly the message, which is, yes, they're sick. Yes, they like to do depraved, horrible, sick things to people and women, children, animals, whoever. They don't care. And fear can be had from that because they have no bottom, they have no line, they have no empathy, they have no feelings. They feel nothing but anger, fear, and hatred. That's all they feel. But I think that that's weak because I've always felt like people who are dealt a bad hand and deal with their shit in a way that doesn't hurt other people, and do better than what was done to them, that's strength. That's something to admire. That's power. because all these people were once children that were abused and shit on and all that stuff, and they couldn't make the bar. Instead, they just gave in to their evilness. They just gave in, and they never fought for anything better for themselves. They never found any value in themselves, and that's why they chose this path. So yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, as I'm inhaling toxic shit in this room with these two animals, and they're inhaling it, inhaling it, inhaling it, and she tries to make that a 24/7 thing, that's not strength. That's not strength. It just is the epitome of weakness. That she was, whatever happened to her in her life, which undoubtedly was rape, sodomy, torture, because she's so drawn to all this stuff, and at the hands of definitely a woman and men. She never developed any ability to have a relationship with anything that included love and caring and compassion. And see, that would be strength if she had been able to actually achieve any of those things in her life. Becoming whatever she was already meant to be because of what happened to her is not strong. So I think that what they fear the most in me is my message. That it doesn't matter who they are, the Hawaiian Syndicate, the Native Hawaiian gang people, whatever. I don't know what their name is. The Hells Angels, the Vagos, the Bloods, the Crips, the Serenos, the Cartel, whatever. These are all groups of people that were too weak in the brain, in the mind, in the soul, in the body, to do something different with their life. They were too weak. Because I came from abuse, I came from all those things, but I made a conscious effort and decision to not perpetrate upon other people, and did my best to have friendships, relationships, love, all these things that were all a challenge. It wasn't easy. When you're not born with those skills, when you're not taught those skills, when you're treated like crap, it's hard to turn around and not do that. So, yes, they're psychopathic. They don't care. And that can be scary. But it's so beatable because at the end of the day, they're so fucking weak. Now, why I can't beat them is because I'm all by myself and there's so many of them. But I'm guessing that's why this has just gone on and on and on and on, because I never acquiesced. I never said I'm beaten. Ever. Throughout this whole thing. Bad days, bad raping, bad sodomizing, gang raping. Yeah. Bad times where I wanted to give up. But never beaten. Because beaten would be being them. Beaten would be deciding that I'm going to perpetrate upon other people what has been done to me. That is beaten. And that's who she is. And that's who all her little friends are. So, to get empowerment from fucking murdering animals slowly and making them suffer like this, that's just so fucking pathetic. And she does. Now she enjoys it. Before, in a moment, she actually thought she... I know she actually enjoyed the fact that Vita liked her. But now look, she's killing her. Every day. Killing her. And slowly and horribly, and taking, little by little, taking her ability to feel comfort in the world. Everything that was taken from her, she's taking from Vita. Why? What did Vita do to her? Nothing. Nothing. But it's because she actually feels empowered by doing this, because she couldn't ever find her way in life. She could never find a way where she could feel confident in who she was or be a good person. Like, I'm just guessing that she could never be a good person. Like, she just didn't ever have that inside of her. Like, she never felt anything. And, for me, the strongest thing to do at that point is just to put a bullet in your head, because all you're going to do for the rest of your life is cause suffering to other people. So if you know you can't feel anything, if you know you can never be a good person, you can never do good in the world, just kill yourself. Seriously. And I'm hoping at this point, since obviously no one's going to stop these people from doing this to us, which is insane. You think I'm insane? That's pretty fucking insane, because Every single town that I've been to, and that's all up from San Diego, even all the way up to the coast and into Portland and into Vancouver, Washington. They have contacted people in all of those areas when I've been in them, and they've gotten rapists and drug addicts to participate in this total just psychopathy. And now all those people, they've all experienced this. And for most of them, I'm guessing it's a higher level of crime than they've ever participated in. For most of them, I bet you anything. It is like for the drug addicts, yes, they've stolen from people, they've beaten on people, but knocked a woman unconscious and shoved a burning equipment up into her uterus? Yeah. No. So they've all now sunk way, way down into their own depravity, and their own psyche has been just more melted and destroyed. And what do you think they're going to turn around and do? Do you think that they're going to go back to just robbing people or do that? No, they're going to have this in their experience. They're going to have this in their knowledge is I can gas a woman. I could gas a child. I could gas a house. You know, I would just garner a bet that at least one of these rapists, one of these psychopathic fucking pieces of shit that were never strong enough to fight to be a good person, just one of them will think, hey, I see that little kid that went into that house. I'd like to rape that little kid. And they're going to gas the entire house. They're going to go in and fucking rape a kid. So, despite all the piling on of society on me about what I'm, and just being so rude and disrespectful and saying that I'm crazy and all this stuff while I'm going through this and dealing with all this stuff. And I still, for the longest time, felt like bad that you don't understand what's really out there and what's really going to happen. I no longer feel bad. What I hope for is that these people do go around and perpetrate these crimes that they've done to me onto other people. And what happens is from that, there is a huge pushback. And all of a sudden, all these people that are, oh, I feel sorry for all these drug addicts. We just got to get them help and house them. Because it's getting to that point. It really is. It's getting to that point because now we see them all being offered services and they don't want them. They want to live on the streets, which is not theirs. And they think it's theirs and they take it over and they shit in bushes and they shit on the street and they do drugs. And I mean, they think that they have a right to do this because they think that that they can do whatever they want. And what I'm hoping is that, strangely enough, I care still about the greater good, is that at some point society acknowledges and recognizes what these things are. And they're not people, they're things. They're just these beings that have, proliferated all around. And they they fight back. And they say, you know what? Never mind. We don't need to house you and feed you and give you services and spend all our fucking money trying to help you when you don't do shit. And instead you take shits on our street, you steal from us, and you do nothing but try to harm the people that are trying to help you. So let's stop doing that. And I say we build a building and we put a big wall around a property, a big, huge swath of land, and we just stick them all in it. You just go around to these neighborhoods, you go around to the hotels where they're all hanging out right now, and you just go in there and you get vans, buses, whatever, you just load them all up, rest them, put them in handcuffs, take them to a big walled-in piece of land that has no resources, no water, no food, no nothing, no drugs, and you just put them in there. And that's that. And then we don't have to look at them. We don't have to suffer under their depravity. We don't have to be raped by them. We don't have to be drugged by them. We don't have to deal with them. And so I'm hoping that this is where this goes, is that society finally acknowledges and recognizes that these things, again, they can't be helped. Look what they're doing. Look at my dog right now. Both dogs just convulsing. Vida. Vida. People that will do that. This is what they do all day now. All day. These are not doggy dreams. Doggies don't dream like this all day long, 24/7, whenever they're not actually walking around. They don't lay down and immediately start to convulse all the time. So yeah, that's fingers crossed that this is what, that this, because none of this is going to lead to anything good, because it's all super disgusting and sick. So what I hope it leads to, though, is that people really see these things for what they are. They're not people that need to be helped. They're not anything that we need to spend resources on, time, energy, nothing. Because there's billions of people, billions in the world that could come and live in the United States and not choose to perpetrate harm upon other people. And just work and live and try to have happiness and joy in their own lives and hopefully, give to their communities and all those other things. There's people that can replace these people if we needed that. So let's just have it be what it really is and hope that their actions in this lead to their own destruction. Because it does feel that way. It does feel like that is what's going to happen. Because you take a look at this crazy, insane bitch. When she first started, she liked Vita. She had a different mentality than she does today. Because her continual acts of violence and rape and sodomy and animal torture, it has rotted her psyche. And she's just gotten sicker and sicker and weirder and disgusting and nasty and horrible and all those things. That's what's really happened. And she can act like she doesn't care or whatever. Nothing good is going to come of these kinds of things for anybody, including them. So fingers crossed that all these organized crime guys that thought this was such a good idea to go after me and spend so much full force, power, energy, resources, and all this stuff to come after me, hopefully this bites them in the ass. Hopefully society wakes up and decides that, hey, you know what? People who do this to a dog, they're not that strong. They're not. And they're entirely beatable. And I think it's just time to fucking X drug addicts out. They're just a weakness and a plague on our society. They just are. Because all these people don't make money unless other people do drugs. And the people that are doing the drugs are stealing the money from the people who don't do drugs, for the most part. So let's hope it leads to their own destruction. Let's hope that in some way what has happened to me, the complete annihilation of my mind, body, spirit, the continual torturing of my animals and the suffering and the deaths that they will die from this, because they will. From the necropsy of my cat, we probably all three of us have cancer already, and just like Kitty, throughout our bodies and in our eyes, which I've commented on numerous times. And it may not be conclusive that one of them has all these illnesses, but what will be conclusive is all four of us having cancer of the lymphoma of the eyes and the heart and the lungs and the kidneys and the everything. That will be conclusive to me. So, and you can't say it's environmental because that's what someone's going to go to. But the bottom line is I've actually moved and been in a ton of different environments. And you're going to tell me that has followed me around everywhere I went, that whatever this environmental factor. No, it is organized crime and a crazy, insane lady who is right now up there, because I heard her up there, waiting. And they came in that window over there. They actually left dirt on the chair that is right outside the window, instead of going in through the dog door, which is what she did at about 7:30 in the morning. That's Vita choking. It's quite strong in here. This is very hard. But yeah, hopefully if we end up all sacrificing our life, hopefully it's for something, a greater good of them all rotting and society really acknowledging and seeing and stop feeling sorry for these people because they're not people. They don't care. They have nothing to live for. They will never do anything but harm other people, steal, rob, rape, murder, cause an immense amount of suffering. It's time to just recognize that and bootstrap up and decide to get rid of these fucking people. Like, everyone hates seeing all these fucking homeless drug addicts all around. Yeah, round them all up. Them, take all the criminals out of prison, and let's just pick a state that has very few resources. And I like that idea that Trump had about the wall, except for he had it wrong. Let's put it around a big swath of land that has no resources whatsoever. No housing, no food, no water, no nothing. Just stick them all in there. Let them rape, murder each other. And let that be done. And you want to say that's inhumane? No, it's not. It's giving them exactly what they deserve, which is nothing. And it's preventing them from harming the people in this world who actually do give a fuck about each other. And it's time we just, it's just, yeah, got to be a lot more real, got to be a lot more, harsh. And that's just the way it is. Because these people, these things, they're not people. And you really don't want them in your society. They will destroy it. They will destroy society. And then they'll be living in this disgusting, nasty mess. And they'll love it. Because that's where they feel comfortable. Like her. Despite the fact that she always has opportunities to take a shower and do all these other things, she doesn't do it. She'll stink like ass. Or she'll throw a whole bunch of patchouli on to try to cover up. But she doesn't, it's like I can almost sense when I was in Hawaii when I would clean my house and get out of this drug haze that she had me in, and I'd clean and make it all nice. And she hated that because she likes the disgusting, nasty, dirty, like that's where she lives. Because that's her head, that's her mind, that's her body, it's her soul, that's everything. It's just nastiness. So, fingers crossed that this whole situation, obviously after I'm gone and all that other shit, will lead to their destruction. Fingers crossed. Wake the fuck up, society. Wake the fuck up. These aren't people. You can't save them. There's nothing to be done for them. Put your energy and time and resources into victims of these people. The children that have been raped and abused, the woman that's been raped, the family members of people who have been murdered. Put your time and energy where it will do good, where it will actually prevent criminals from becoming criminals. Because at this point, you're putting time and resources into people who will never change. And they're not really people. And every time they do these horrible drugs, they just get worse and worse and worse. And when they participate in these types of crimes, it just gets worse and worse and worse. Psyches don't get better. All these people that have participated, and there are a lot that have participated in what has happened to me, they've all become less human. And I would say have no likelihood of ever coming back from that. Wake the fuck up.